Hello everybody, Ordaehn here, bringing you the third of the best of 15 games for me. Um, this is actually the fourth, as I had mentioned. The second game got screwed up, but I'm going to do an additional game or two depending on how the next couple go. Hopefully the computer holds out. So, this is a Zerg game for me on Kulas Ravine. Should end up being interesting, and it's against a Terran opponent. So, gonna get that scout out pretty early. As usual, I wait until I got that 150 minerals after the overlord gets out. That way I don't slow myself down at all. Well, too much. So, get that drone out. Probably going to hit the Zelnaga watchtower ASAP. There it is. Don't see him anywhere. And that drone's going to the bottom now. So, there's the spawning pool. I chose to block off that back section, and there's the extractor going on right after. Getting the drones that I need to get. Setting down to scout. Don't see anything. Generally, if I don't see a barracks there at the start, I'm just so used to seeing people blocking themselves in, I'm not too worried about it. But I did want to double check that he wasn't, for some reason, building barracks next to his base. So got 3 there, going right into that extractor. We'll go ahead and probably get that Zergling speed upgrade. Check that real quick. Don't see anything, so I'm going to get down to the bottom right corner and get a scout in there. At this point, it's a little too late for me to do any good harassing. On this map, it's just way too large. Every place is almost the same distance from each other, as you can see, because everybody's got to go through the center. So, do find his barracks there in the bottom right corner. Not going to get a whole lot done. I can't really do a whole lot of attacking. He's got some Marines that are about to pop out there, which tells me I'm not getting Reaper rushed. For any reason, Reapers on this map would be kind of useless. They don't have a whole lot of places that they can't just run into anyway, but he's not going for anything techy right off the bat. So I'm going to pull those drones off, get the extra minerals while I have a chance. Got the queen almost finished there, and I got more drones coming out. So I'm going to send them back on. I decided, okay, I'm not just going to go for lings because it's going to be real hard to get into his base. There's not a big opening for me to get in there, so if I had to do anything, I'd probably end up going for banelings, but we'll see how that turns out here soon. Going to get a couple of lings out there scouting a little bit, and I'm going to go for that rich mineral deposit there in the middle left area. Knowing he's not going to get a whole lot done, I'm going to do what I can, and I do manage to get that SCV before he can really see anything. I don't even think he saw my spawning pool, so he wouldn't know if I had anything else in the back there. Got a couple of my lings picking on that as quickly as I can. I like getting 3 or 4 there because in the best case they'll take it out while I'm doing other stuff, and I'll have an opening into the back of his base if he tries to get an expansion there before he has a lot of units to defend it. So, meanwhile, I'm working on my own destructible rocks to get that expansion if I decide to choose to use it in the future. Got a couple units. I'm going to go ahead and probably get some roaches here. I'm going to go ahead and get that spine crawler as well. So I did notice that I'm going to have to pump larva there in a second, so I'm going to pull that queen back quickly here, get the larva in there, and then get her back on that. The destructibles are almost gone. I do have that Zergling speed, and I've got 3 lings down there beating on those destructible rocks. So I'm going to need to get a scout here soon, so I send one of those Zerglings down to one spot, and then I've got them patrolling there, as you can see, and I'm going to send that other Zergling right down. I want him to kill it, just because I don't think it's going to do a whole lot. I don't mind if it dies, is what I meant by that. And I'm going to take all of my drones on minerals and get them down here. It's going to hold me off for a little while. Slow me down slightly, but it always throws Terran for a loop when you've got no drones in your base and they scan you. They're like, what's going on? So he's going to want to run up there as quickly as possible, and just because I don't have any drones doesn't mean I don't have any units there. So all my drones just got in there. I'm going to start getting those rich minerals as quickly as possible. It's got no defense, but he doesn't have it scouted yet. So there we go. I'm probably going to pop it. There we go. There's a roach warren. I got that Evo chamber earlier, and I am going to get a couple units here. So let's see, what do we got here? I've got that Zergling just outside of his base, and I'm doing the same as I did in the first game, getting those Zerglings out with that movement speed and having them patrol between mineral colonies so that I can A, watch for him scouting anything, and B, watch for his SCVs going anywhere. So, I'm going to pop out that queen there as quickly as I can. I'm getting quite a few minerals from that rich mineral deposit, and I'm going to get another scout down here. I do see he's got a couple units there, but not a whole lot. Probably would have been better at this point to get some banelings, because I still see he's getting ground forces. I expect MMM, Marines, Marauders, and Medevacs at this point. So that's why I started getting the Roaches. They do very well. There's the scan I had mentioned. He's probably thinking, well, that's the best time to attack. I don't know what he's doing, but his base is relatively defenseless. I don't know how many times people use all their workers to attack. I seem to do it a lot. But I did manage to get that down. I'm going to get a decent scout there. And I'm going to come in and start taking out the destructible rocks into his base. I see him moving out. It's not a huge army. It's the Marines and Marauders. I do have a decent cash flow coming in here. I have a couple spine crawlers there at the back. And I'm going to pull this Zergling off because I don't want him running through his Marines. It's going to be better if he dies at that tower than if he catches me midway running between the two towers. So he hasn't moved out yet. I'm going to get a scout out there as soon as I can. You can see some Zerglings and Roaches there. And while Roaches do not do very well against a large amount of Marauders, especially with the slow, and some Medevacs, they will do well enough against the force that I saw him coming at me with. Getting that upgrade. You'll notice there's not a lot of drones there. I needed to get some defensive units, and he's going to take out almost... Nope, he got it all. So he happened to just be flying out of those destructible rocks when he saw my Lings there, and he's going to pick those off. Move that Ling out of the way, then get him back there again. He doesn't see that Ling there, so I'm going to send that one Ling down to pick on those destructible rocks a bit. I did notice he had enough units to cause me some concern, so I'm getting a couple of additional spine crawlers here, hopefully to hold him off. Maybe take out 3/4 of his army while the rest of my units are running down there. I'm going to get these overlords back in, so he doesn't drop on my overlords and take them out. He could have taken that one out real easy, but I have a feeling he's pretty distressed now. He's thinking, I got to get this guy taken out. He's taking out my destructible rocks. He's moving in and around, doing some weird stuff. So there, I've got quite a few spine crawlers there. All my units at this point are going into attacking him, and I'm gonna try to take out what I can as quickly as possible. He's going for that spine crawler, which is probably the worst thing he could do. There's one infusion, which is all that I can afford at this point. And I'm going to take out all the units he has. So I've got almost all of my units left. My queen's walking out of there because I sent her over there and she's not doing too well. And now I'm going to go ahead and get those extractors on these additional ones and pump out some more drones on that. Sending those Roaches down, I got to keep an eye on those Medevacs. I'm going to get in there as quickly as I can, try to take out what destructible rocks I can, and then do the additional goodies up there at the top. He does have a couple units, so he ended up taking out the destructible rocks. I've got the destructible rocks there too. So he's got a gaping hole into his base he's going to have to fill here soon. So there goes the Hydra Den. I'm outdoing him quite a bit. I know that he hasn't expanded anywhere. And I'm going to go in and try to take out what I can for some of his supplies. Just do a little bit of harassing. So I'm going to get that for free. And I'm going to leave it there because I don't want him to just run into it. And you'll see that I'm far away here at this point, trying to pick off what I can. Almost lose that Roach, but that supply depot is going to go down. Pull my units back. I'm not going to get through the Medevacs and Marauders in the position that he was in there with most of his units defending his base. So there's some additional spine crawlers going in here. And as I had mentioned before, I'll probably end up creep tumoring these across the map if it lasts long enough, because I know that I can get in there and block him in with part of the spine crawlers that I have. So I've got a couple more drones here. It's not a ton. My economy's not through the roof, but those additional minerals down below have allowed me to get the second queen up here. I still don't think he's seen this yet, and I haven't. There's the larva infusion that I needed. And so I'm just getting my expansions here, getting some air defense, because it's not uncommon for him to be going for Banshees now or something, try to sneak in there and pick off a couple structures while he has a chance. So, and there we go, getting that expansion there. Not a whole lot happening right now. I'm getting a couple of upgrades going. I've got real good mining and a real nice economy going now, so it's just simply going to be a matter of making sure that I keep him down and keep myself up. I've got such a mineral advantage. His first attack failed pretty badly, so I am going to pull that Ling off. At this point, I'm not particularly worried and going to freak out about anything. I'm going to go ahead and get that Infestor Pit here.